Stampa spagnola.
Any questions from the Spanish media?
Hola, buenas noches, Antonio.
Good evening, Antonio Conte. I'd like to ask you about the incident between you and Ever Banega out there on the pitch. What happened with him? What exactly went on? Did he say something about your hair? You two exchanged words. What was said?
Guarda, io ho fatto il calciatore, quindi...
What happens out on the pitch, stay on the pitch. I don't think it's any of your business what went on with Banega, if I'm completely honest.
Prego.
Ciao Antonio.
Ciao.
Good evening, Antonio. We heard what you said live on Sky Sport Italia, and I wanted to ask you a very direct question. What needs to actually go on so that you can stay as Inter head coach? Because you've really given us the impression that you were bidding farewell there. Listen, Davide, I don't think this is necessarily the right time to talk about it. We should be talking about the final. I know that it's within your interest to ask certain questions as well. I think I was exhaustive in terms of the answer I gave on the topic. I think I've already said everything on the matter. And as I said, please don't make me go over this once again and repeat everything that I've already said. I'd like to actually talk about the match itself. You have my quotes and my comments there. I'd rather talk about the players and the fact that I can only be proud of these players, of everything that they have given me this season, the improvements they've made in every single area. I'm disappointed because I would have liked to have actually given these lads the happiness of winning and lifting a piece of silverware, but ultimately I rue the fact that I wasn't able to succeed on that score. I'm sorry for the fans, I'm sorry for the club as well, because after 10 years we managed to get back into a European final. I would have liked to have really put a smile on their faces and have gone one step further than simply making the final. Are there any other questions? Corriere della Sera. Good evening, Antonio. Good evening, Antonio. President Stephen Zhang, just like yourself, has said that we'll talk next week and plan the future. He underlined the fact that it's been a positive season, that he's very pleased with the job that you've done, despite the fact you didn't win the Europa League final. I wanted to know whether, when it comes to planning the future, how much your relationship with the president will ultimately come into play. First and foremost, I'd like to clarify the following point. This is a very important point because I've read it in a number of different papers over a number of days, and I have to say that it really bugged me because the idea was put across that President Stephen Zhang and I didn't necessarily get on particularly well. The father of our president was actually kept quiet on certain scores, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. That bothered me. I think people try to actually put these ideas across to cause even more issues, but my relationship with the president and with the ownership group, regardless of everything that's gone on, is a very strong one. All I can do is thank the Zhang family, the Suning Group for giving me this opportunity, because as I said earlier on, it really was worth it. It was worth experiencing all of this, regardless of what will ultimately come to pass in the coming days. This year will always have a place in my heart. It will leave its mark because it's been such a strange year, but it's also been a year which has really given me a great deal. It's been an exhausting year from every perspective, and it's only right, as I've already said, that I actually start to reflect and think about things. I also have a private life, as I've said, and I need to understand what's going on.
Grazie a te. Aspetta un attimo.
Antonio, sono Emanuele Gamba, ciao.
Ciao.
A question which doesn't necessarily pertain to Inter. Do you regret coming back to Italy? Look, Italy's home for me. I could never regret coming back to Italy. As I said, I can't rue this at all because, as I said, it's been worthwhile regardless of what will go on. It's been worthwhile because I've had an incredible experience. And throughout all of this, because of COVID-19, a whole host of other things that have gone on, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the genuine, true Inter fans. I'd also like to thank the Curva always. And it wasn't easy. I was a sporting enemy, if you will. And I can't say that I regret this decision because regardless, it has been worthwhile because I've had an incredible experience at this club, regardless of what will go on in the future. But no, I have no regrets whatsoever. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to experience all of this at a top club. Inter, just like Juve and Milan, have really written footballing history in Italy.
Hello, Antonio. You said you want to talk about the match. Do you think that Diego Carlos should have been sent off when he committed the penalty? And how much do you think that changed the game that you didn't play against 10 men for almost the full game?
Now at the end of the game it's very difficult. Parlo in italiano o in inglese? In italiano, ok. Sì.
Come the end of the match, it's actually quite difficult to talk about one specific incident in the match. But if you win the penalty and if there's a red card, if indeed it was a red card, then naturally the match would have become a lot less tough than ultimately what it proved to be. The referee made a decision in the end. That's the way he read the situation. And there's also VAR. But we know that VAR is used differently in every single different country, and everyone has their own viewpoint on that. But as I said, it was a balanced match between the two sides. Two very good teams indeed. One specific incident could have actually changed the balance of the game. We had the opportunities to win the game in the second half, but then there was this unfortunate own goal. We had the opportunity to score once again after that, but unfortunately that's the way it ended. So congratulations to Sevilla, because you always need to congratulate the victors. But I'd also like to take my hat off to my players, because they gave me absolutely everything. They made significant progress throughout the year. They always showed that they identified with the club. They showed a lot of desire and willingness. It's been a wonderful experience. And this will certainly serve my players going forward. Thank you. Good evening.
Posto.